Hey everybody, Grayson from Profit. Today we're going to be taking a look at Sword and Shield era booster boxes. A lot of really good things happening, especially if you own these boxes. But before we get into that, a couple things. We're going to start off, you guys know Dan from Catch 'em All Collectibles. Friday, they're doing a live stream. I believe it's him, PK, and Ponga. I'm going to play a little clip here. They're doing a bunch of giveaways. It's literally free EV. If you have time, jump in the stream. So we're going to do a little overlay right now, and then we'll get back into the video.
We will be streaming live
in New York City.
It's a 30 for 30.
We are giving away $30,000.
$30,000.
There'll be $30,000 of giveaways for 30 years of Pokemon.
And not only are we going to be doing a ton of huge giveaways, we're going to be chasing a PSA 9.
$10,000.
Shadowless Besa Charizard.
All you have to do is show up, be there live in the stream.
Friday, February 27th.
And team up with Catch 'em All Collectibles and Fanatics Live to evolve your collection today.
And if you guys want to check out the Fanatics live stream, I'll leave a link in the video description down below. Now, the other thing I want to get to before we talk about Sword and Shield era booster boxes, TCA Gaming. I'm sure a lot of you guys know who he is, absolute legend in the space. I recommend any sealed investor, and even if you don't invest in sealed product, go watch his most recent video here, risking 200K worth of Pokemon, new market. He's basically talking about how he's sending off some sealed booster boxes to get graded. I believe in Evolving Skies sealed booster box case, and then some vintage booster boxes, some check lane blisters from base set, I believe. Very interesting video. And honestly, I think a lot of people have kind of assumed that the grading of booster boxes was something that was inevitable in the hobby. It was going to come sooner rather than later. And I think if this works out well, it could be a massive change for the hobby, right? You just think about the authentication process for some of these vintage boxes, people knowing now after it's been graded, sure, it's legit, the wrap is legit, no funny business has happened, and even modern product too, right? Like this could reshape how we think about sealed products. So I'm a current believer that at a certain level, when boxes hit $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, eventually it's going to get to a point where the growth you see on those boxes is going to slow down. But with something like this, if it creates a brand new market for sealed collectors, or it incentivizes those collectors to buy more and feel more confident with purchases, that could ultimately affect how well some of these investments do in the future. The other thing too, talking about sealed case premiums, Rusty's sending off a sealed first print Evolving Skies booster box case. I believe it's going to be opened and they're going to label each box as uncirculated, right? So if that becomes a thing as well, that could potentially lead to those first edition booster box cases or ETB cases, or honestly any case in general, right? That could make a new market for those and give us a larger sealed premium in the future on those items. So in something like One Piece, right? I'm just thinking about how that could apply as well. If it's coming, if a box is coming from a sealed booster box case and it's authenticated, well, now you know that a loose box, it might not be a dead box, right? Because it's coming from a sealed case. So I just think there's so many ways this could potentially apply in the future and make the information and understanding and confidence in buying sealed product a lot higher. And for me, I think that is going to be a good thing for the hobby. But if you guys disagree, leave a comment down below. Getting into the booster boxes from Sword and Shield era, I think this is why most of you guys are here. You don't want to hear my opinions on a bunch of boring stuff like that. Sword and Shield base, moving in the right direction. I'll say most of the Sword and Shield era is moving in the right direction. Buy it now sales, even though TCG Player says this is around $656, probably like a $500, $550 box. I don't know what's happened over the past couple months, but a lot of cheaper boxes have come onto the market on eBay. I think there's a box listed at $400 currently. There's some issues with the wrap on it. I've checked. I think it might even be dented too. But the point is, this is not an $800 box like some people were talking about a couple months ago. We've had, and I understand there was a sale on TCG Player, but the most recent sales much cheaper at this point. Outside of base, Rebel Clash slowly moving up as well. I think it was actually down like 10 cents this week or something. But when I look at supply on the market, sales volume, it's heading in the right direction, in my opinion. Same thing with Darkness Ablaze. Vivid Voltage, surprisingly, pushing all-time highs again. almost $277 a booster box. And this was actually one of the best selling booster boxes over the past 7 days. I think 3 per day. I'm pretty sure the only box, actually there were 2 boxes, I'm pretty sure, higher than Vivid Voltage was Evolving Skies and Lost Origin. So Lost Origin, that's one of those boxes where I feel like the sales volume is just so random. One week it'll be 1.5 boxes every single day. The next week we're back over 3, whereas a lot of these other boxes are much more consistent. I digress. The point is, everything's moving in the right direction, and a few of these alt art sets that we will talk about here in a minute, they could be primed for another move here sooner rather than later. But before we get into that, if you guys enjoy the content, I'd really appreciate if you leave a like on the video. It helps out a ton. A bunch of useful links in the description down below. Market spreadsheet if you want to see all the numbers that I'm referencing in this video. Mentorship program. I'm planning to spend somewhere between $2,000 and $3,000 this year just on guest presentations alone. So I think the value in that, the Q&A is lifetime access to the spreadsheet, and of course the networking opportunities. In my opinion, it's worth it. So definitely recommend checking that out if you're really serious about TCG investing. Consultation calls if you want to work with me one-on-one, and affiliate links if you guys are buying anything. eBay, TCG Player, Hobbiesville. Doesn't cost you anything to click on the link. I'll get a small percentage of the sale at no extra cost to you. It helps out the channel. Thank you guys so much for the support. Getting back in to the alt art sets, battle styles. I think this is easily going to be $300 plus, probably by the middle of the year. I wouldn't even say end of the year at this point. It's headed in the right direction. Still a decent amount of supply out there, maybe like 5 or 6 cases below. I want to say like 315, 320 right now on eBay. Chilling Rain also moving in the right direction, but sales volume still not that great. You can find boxes for like 520, 530 on the open market. Evolving Skies, this is one of those boxes that I think could start running again fairly quickly. It's kind of leveled out around $2,500. In terms of sales volume past 7 days, I think we were getting fairly close to 4 boxes. Buy it now every single day on eBay. So you include auctions, much higher than that. I will show you guys on TCG Player. We're talking about 17 sales in a 28-day period, so a little over 0.5 per day. This is why when, sets get older, right? The modern stuff, it's great for TCG Player, but I'd say after like 2-3 years of a set's life cycle, if it's something that, gets very expensive very quickly or is just not that popular, looking at eBay data, in my opinion, is much more important than looking at TCG Player. So I will just keep hitting home why I really do believe in what I'm building with the market spreadsheet and looking at eBay data. But somewhere between 3.5 and 4 per day. At the same time, supply actually came down over the past 7 days. So that's a deadly combination when that supply is coming down and sales volume is going up. The same thing happened with Brilliant Stars. This is now in a range where I wouldn't be shocked if we start seeing consistently over $600, maybe even $625 sales here. And then Lost Origin, same boat. Those are kind of the 3 sets right now that I would really be paying attention to. Fusion Strike, sure. I mean, it's selling decently well on eBay. The one thing about Fusion on eBay right now, I believe there are like 35 boxes from Game Deal Daily. They've been a seller where in the past, they've listed like 5 or 6 cases of Fusion Strike just out of nowhere. And it's basically doubled the supply on the market. So to give you context, right, I believe there were 61 Fusion Strike boxes below a 20% move. 35 of them are coming from Game Deal Daily. So without their boxes, you only have 25. They're selling around 2 per day. That would put us in that pink range again, where there's like 10, 15 days of inventory remaining. This would be a box to pay attention to. But because Game Deal Daily has their boxes up there, it's kind of like the same conversation with Temporal Forces, Paradox Rift, when Hobbiesville has like 100 plus boxes on the market. It kind of skews the data a little bit, in my opinion, especially considering, if they see these larger stores, if they see their competition selling out and there's not a ton of boxes out there, they're just going to keep moving their price higher and higher and higher. And Game Deal Daily has done that before with the Fusion Strike boxes. So yeah, I mean, those 3 sets, maybe Fusion you want to include 4 sets right now. That's what I'd really be paying attention to. Astral just doesn't sell great. We're talking about maybe a box per day. Buy it now at this point. I don't know. The market just does not believe in Astral Radiance. Silver Tempest as well. Maybe like 1.5 boxes moving per day, two per day in a good week. Like it's It's again not one of those boxes that I'm really paying attention to at this point. Like, to me, sure, a lot of the alt art sets in Sword and Shield era are great. Don't get me wrong, but I'm starting to see the different tiers. They're becoming more clear in my opinion. You have Evolving Skies, like that is S tier, even at like whatever multiple of MSRP it is, like 15, 16x, whatever. That is selling better than basically everything else in the era. The tier below that, you probably have your Fusion Lost, and honestly, maybe even Brilliant Stars, I would include in that tier at this point. Then below that, we have like Chilling Rain, Silver Tempest, and then below that, you have Astral Radiance, Battle Styles. I think that's a fairly fair rating, honestly, and especially when you look at like top 1, 5, 10 data, it probably lines up fairly closely with that as well. So yeah, in terms of Sword and Shield era, if you guys don't have exposure and you want exposure, I would probably recommend starting off with like your Evolving, your Fusion, and then Brilliant and Lost. I don't hate still, but I think even Brilliant's kind of on the cusp where it's like, do I really want to put this money into Brilliant, or would I rather just buy like Black Bolt ETBs or more prismatic evolutions or something too, right? Or let's say when the Ascended Heroes booster bundle displays, I mean, the gap between prismatic bundle displays and the loose bundles, we're talking almost like 100% difference in price, right? Like 1300 for a bundle display, 1350. The loose bundles are $70. You could probably find them for 65. If Ascended, the same thing happens and we don't get those bundle displays in North America, I may end up just getting like a master case of those off of my contact in Singapore. It might be worth doing, just depending on, what happens, obviously. But these are all the questions that are going on in my mind every single day, is like, where should I put my money? Because you have so many great options. So you really do have to be selective. But again, like, on the contrary to that, we don't want to have analysis paralysis and just not buy anything. I think the overarching theme of the past like 2 to 3 years in Pokemon is just put your money to work. Just buy anything. I think Alex made a video today and he brought up Pokemon Go, which, he says is probably one of his worst investments, right? And the fact that it's up like 200-300% over the past 24 months, that's still an amazing investment. So as long as you're in the game, that's really the only thing that matters. And sure, like you can try and pick and choose and get into the better products, but if you just sit and watch and you don't buy anything, or you listen to people that might be cosplaying sociopaths on the internet and they're telling you that everything's going to go to MSRP and you just haven't purchased anything in 18 months at this point, you're probably sitting there going, yeah, this sucks. And it probably does suck, honestly. And it's not going to get better, I don't think. Now, there will be a point where it probably does get better, but at that time, right, if you put your money to work, you'd probably be way further ahead than if you just sat and waited. So that's really all I want to get to in this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, go check out the Fanatics live stream, link in the description down below. Literally free EV. I also recommend going and checking out Rusty's video. It was a great watch. I'll link that as well if I remember. Stay safe wherever you guys are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next one.